So right now it's Monday night and I'm editing this video that I recorded last Friday. Since then, we've gotten a lot more news about the new version. Some of the new abilities, how reactions work, more details about a compendium coming out. A lot of exciting stuff that we may or may not have time to cover in a recording session this weekend. So in the meantime, if you want a good summary of the latest info from the last 2 days, go check out our friend Jolli's channel over at Gamers. Link in the description. And now we bring you to our regularly scheduled program with our impressions of the models and leader stats. Welcome to Dayton Warcry Club. I'm Warren, and today I'm joined by my co-hosts Zack and Dave. Today we'll discuss the various new Warcry reveals we've had so far, and give you our takes on everything we've seen, and talk about our plans for the future.
How we doing?
Hey guys. So been a while since I had both of you guys on after doing the tier lists. So good to have you. Good to have you back on. You ready to talk about some Warcry?
I am
so pumped.
So first, we're gonna do our normal hobby update first, and then we'll talk about the box in general. And then we got 3 different warbands. They've revealed the 3rd one today. So we got 3 different warbands to talk about, and then also cover any other reveals that we've seen so far. So first off, for hobby update, I'll go first. Knocked out a big chunk of models here. Got my first 4 Stormcasts done in their custom scheme. Expanded out my Flesh Eater Courts with a Crypt Horror and Duke's Harriers. So now I can play 3 big guys. The list I'm looking at is 2 Crypt Infernals, a Crypt Horror, the Duke's Harriers, and 2 Ghouls for a total of 6. And then I'm going to continue to work, build that a little bit wider, probably with a Vargolf Courtier as well, to give me a couple more options, because we found out he's a pretty decent flyer too. A couple objective tokens. And my first Stormcast. So I think they're Retributors and Prosecutors.
So that those are a bit of a kit bash, right?
Yep. I think you saw the unpainted ones, the Grey Knight heads on them, and I got some Grey Knight iconography on them.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitor shoulder insignia.
I really appreciate the non-gold color scheme. There's just too much gold in Stormcast.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I always have a soft spot for the Grey Knights, so I like these quite a bit.
So the wings is that like a metallic, a crimson metallic?
It's Army Painter, blood red speed paint over dry brush metallic.
Gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a pretty easy start. Base coat everything black, do dry brush of silver over everything, and then some contrast, and then some opaque over some of the other parts. Pretty quick win. And you guys saw this too, so I got a big chunk of the starter terrain done as well. Finally got that all finished. A little bit of weathering powder on the top. I didn't want to obscure a lot of the detail on the sides, but the weathering powder on the top, just kind of learned to work with that.
Yeah, I've never used weathering powder. I'd be interested to give it a try.
It was interesting. It comes off fairly easy, so if you ever mess up, you just take a can of compressed air and you can blow it away and start over. So that was pretty neat.
Okay. How do you adhere it? You come by with some spray on adhesive afterwards?
Yeah, you do it. I did it right before putting on the matte spray coat.
Okay.
So it should hold in. Yeah, as like the intent was to try to do it as a to tie things together, kind of like I do with the wash, but only like a little bit less powerful than the wash.
Which I think that's how it comes across too. So
yeah, because you can see on the bottom I used the wash, and then I did a little bit of dry brushing over it to kind of take it back to gray, try to get to match that board. So that was a good time. Looking forward to finishing the rest. I got some stripping I got to do on some stuff because I want to reprime it some lessons learned on the wood. This is probably the hardest part, going back and on the wood to get it where I wanted. But yeah, I'll have another board fairly soon, in between everything else. And then Zach, so we showed off some of your stuff last week. We showed off your tower, and I think, oh yeah, your Exiled Dead. But yeah, tell us what else we got.
So I've been deep diving into 3D printing. I'm flying through resin faster than I can get it in. I was trying to limit myself to 1 liter bottle of resin a month. And I think it was like the 12th of this month. I was like, it's gone. So I'm flying through resin. Everything you see here is from Loot Studios. It is the Nightmare of the Abyss series. I believe that was their July series. So yeah, I have the Nightmare Tower is a dice tower on the left. It took roughly 210 print hours, 31 pieces. So that was roughly 25 plates. So it took quite a while. In the middle,
you're still speaking Greek to me. Every time you say, "Oh, is X number of plates," I'm like, "Huh? What? Okay."
Yeah. So that's just like how many times I had to run a print. Just like how many models.
Print jobs, however many
print jobs.
Yeah.
In there in the middle is basically he's just a Death Knight, and I was just sitting at my desk working one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how fast I can knock this guy out. That's with speed paint, that's a 25-minute paint job, start to finish.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was just such an easy win. So I enjoyed that. And then here on the right we have Legally Distinct Orcus. He has a name given to him by Loot Studios, but it's Orcus. And I painted him largely with speed paint, and then just came back with some metallics over top and some washes on a few areas. With the speed paint, you kind of don't need to wash some. I didn't wash the red at all. I just did a couple highlights.
Okay.
And it came out looking exactly how I wanted it to.
Yeah, I've been putting wash over pretty much everything of mine, even if it's been speed painted. It takes it down a little bit, but then I kind of bring it back up a little bit with like a little bit of highlight. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? Of, if you're still washing and highlighting, but I use as a tool to like enhance the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still a pretty decent tool to have. And then couple questions. So how are you doing your zenithals? Are you spray, or are you doing zenithals?
Yeah, so I'm doing my zenithals. I do a black all over, and then what I've been doing is I have a darker gray that I do from probably like a 45-degree angle all the way around, and then I have a much lighter gray that I do just from directly above.
Okay.
And I mean, if you were to see the Orcus specifically in person, because he's a larger model, he's probably 6 or 7 inches tall, maybe 5 to 6 inches tall, and as many wide as well. You can see the zenithal come through.
Okay. Yeah, I've done a couple small ones, and I'm just using white over black dry brush, but they're smaller. They're smaller models. So for something larger like that, I was curious as to what you're doing.
Yeah, and then also on the Death Knight, you can see on his cape more in the back. You can see the zenithal come through because he was also zenithal, but he's much smaller. He's 32 scale, 32 millimeter scale.
And have you started painting the dice tower yet, or?
No, I am going through and just green stuffing some of the cracks. Just with so many different pieces, there's going to be slight variance. So it didn't print 100% to where it was just like putting Legos together. Like you can actually see there on the front, like there's a split down the middle of one of the joints. So it's a pretty easy green stuff job. And then I'm gonna have some ideas with what I want to do with it. I might want to like put it on, give it a base, so it's not just just kind of like give it a little bit of terrain in between the two, or like the edges, just like
Right.
an inch around.
Or
So I'm
something to
toying with some
catch
ideas.
your dice as it comes out the bottom, right?
Well, it has like a guardrail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how the green stuff works. Like after the green stuff and the first layer of prime, like how well you did on the hiding of it. I had to do a little bit of it myself on some terrain projects. And yeah, after the primer goes on, wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Probably
So
couldn't tell.
I did a bunch of not scatter terrain, but like just giant rock pieces from this month's Loot Studios set, and I had to green stuff those as well. And I've already primed one of those, and like you can, in one spot you could tell there was a gap that I
But
had filled.
you kind of had to know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, once it's like fully painted up, I don't think it's going to be an issue, and that's going to be like, um, custom Warcry boards or Dungeons and Dragons terrain. So I'm not as worried about it in general. I'm not as worried about terrain as I am minis in general. So
Okay. So what else you got next other than the dice tower?
um,
Warcry.
I just printed an ATST for Legion.
That's not Warcry.
No, for Warcry though, I'd shared a potential. I did print some Razor Dons for Seraphon to test because I'm a big proponent of salamander spam, and I just wanted to get a feel for the difference between salamanders and Razor Dons. My first print run of those, I didn't get the scale quite right. So I'm going to scale them up just like they're like 85% of what they should be. I printed some flesh hounds that actually look fantastic. And that's going to be for Corn Mortals. And then there's a large terrain piece. I told myself I wasn't going to do another large print, and then this month's Loot Studios, like it looks like it was designed to go along with Heart of Gur. Like it's got a dragon skull with stuff built on top of it. It looks like it was made for this terrain set, and
Yeah,
it's going to be
use
a
it to
lot of
enhance the boards that we'll
yeah,
talk about here.
and it's going to be a big piece too.
And then also, I'll be curious as to what you decide to add to your Exiled Dead as well to kind of fill that out to 1,000.
Yeah, I'm still taking pitches for how to fill out that list. There's interesting ideas of just picking up Sepulchral Guard and then just mashing the best of those together. I do also have a Vampire Lord, so if I could pick up the Crimson Court and the one Verkos Bloodborne that I think you have waiting in the wings for me, that's pretty close to 1,000 points as well. So those are both interesting ideas and kind of thematic and on like, I think having a Soulblight Gravelord warband of like half skeletons, half vampires would just feel weird to me. Like I want all one way or all the other way. Like either there's a necromancer and some undead, or there's some vamp.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, especially if you're gonna do it thematically. Me, I'm gonna min-max the heck out of it. By the time I do it, so I'm slowly picking up pieces here and there for it.
For sure.
All right, and then Dave. So you wanted to show off. You got Bladeborn.
I did. So
Um,
tell us about Bladeborn.
So shout out to Salty C, because definitely I would not have found this without him. But it is, I believe, a Barnes and Nobles exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are looking for a good entry point, I think, to just like small scale skirmish wargaming in general, you might want to pick this up, because not only is it a 2-player game, it's actually a really good entry point into Warcry as well, because you get dice, you get tokens, you get I think there are 10 models, and even though they're 2 bands, there are actually 1 Slaves to Darkness army. And as far as like a 1-box army goes, it's actually a pretty interesting one. It has interesting rules. It doesn't have as many of the shortcomings you see in the normal like bespoke boxes.
Yeah, it's got some play to it.
Yeah.
You got some tricks. And then so I know you're starting to work on painting them.
Yep. Yep, I'm slaving away at these slaves to darkness as we speak. So yeah, I went ahead and knocked my Kagura, my leader, out there. And then the rest I'm sort of assembly line painting as I go.
And so you showed us the cards earlier, and so they have it's a very similar system to that of Warcry. It's like Warcry Light.
Yeah, the combat I do believe is pretty much exactly Warcry's combat.
The thing I noticed, if you look at the stat lines, some of these fighters have a little bit souped up stat lines. You got Razek and Kragan with 3 damage on a hit, 4 on a crit, a lot more attacks. Kagura just has 20 hit points instead of I think she's got 26.
26, I believe, in the actual
in game.
Yeah.
So the models are going to die a little bit quicker. It's going to be a little more fast paced, which is neat. And then also from a design standpoint, I noticed that the fighter cards, some of them have static abilities.
Yes.
So you look at Sean. Sean says add +1 to the strength of this fighter's weapon if one or more other friendly fighters are adjacent to the target. So it goes from a 4 strength to a 5 strength with the buddy system. Alo's got it too. Yeah, Alo and Jagartha all have it too. So that's kind of like their gimmick. It seems like you can sort of gang up and take out higher toughness models.
Yeah, and they are all characters as well. It's all not a generic. I believe they're actually maybe Underworld. I believe they may be available separately as Underworld boxes.
Yep, they were Underworlds as well.
So, originally Underworld bands that have been boxed together in this game that Games Workshop's put out.
Yep, very cool. Slaves to Darkness is still on my wish list, and Bladeborn is right up there as part of it, doing exactly what you did. But based on what we're seeing right now for the new releases, it may tumble down my priorities some because there's more and more cool new stuff I want to get.
Yeah, we're definitely in a glut right now of things.
Too many cool new models, too little time. But yeah, let's get to it. So I was actually on voice chat on the official Warcry Discord, and we were actually watching the reveal live. So that was a really cool little community event that we had. And it was a short, it was an hour-long total for all the skirmish games. The Warcry piece they didn't stretch it out too much. It was like 10 minutes or so, and it was kind of as I expected. It was just a tease of, hey, look at the cool new models, drool over the cool new models. Whereas us Warcry enthusiasts are like, show us the rules. We want to see the new rules. But we were happy enough to kind of see the models and see the terrain we got. So here's a big shot of the terrain. What do you guys think?
So right off the bat, we're in the orange wastes again.
Yeah, orange brown wastes.
Which I think you and I had talked about just disregarding that. And I'm really into that idea just because, we're supposed to be in a jungle. Gur is like every picture they've shown of Gur that like from a narrative standpoint, it's a lush jungle. So, I mean, I guess thematically one of the warbands is burning stuff down and maybe that's the logic. But
there's certainly no rule that says you have to paint everything just like it looks on the box. So.
Oh, we're not going to.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're not.
I wish they would show the backside of the board because it's not going to be blank, right?
I doubt it would look very different, though. I mean,
yeah.
Historically, it'll have different features.
A slightly different shade of brown.
Yeah, it'll be lighter brown.
It's actually what you get on the kill
crater or two.
It's actually what you get on the kill team boards. You get on the reverse side, you get a different shade of brown or maybe a gray.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. So I want to do like a jungle theme.
Yeah, we're gonna do play mats. Yep, a little more green theme to it. It's your Ewok village.
Yeah, I think we called that pretty on the nose. It's a really interesting terrain set. It's a little bit more scattery than I was hoping for. A little bit less elevation than, for instance, like the core set. But it looks like it's more than Red Harvest. Red Harvest had a lot of elevated terrain that you don't really like to get on. All the
sluices.
The sluices they're awkward to navigate. So you rarely, in the games we've played of Red Harvest, people aren't often standing on the sluices because you can get burned literally from them. But there also is a bridge mechanic that could have a similar effect. So maybe being on the bridges won't be the best of things.
Yeah, and so I know you were thinking about adding some addition, like another big terrain centerpiece to kind of flesh the board out, and that's probably a good idea. I don't think it affects the play so much because it's not a shooting game like Kill Team. Like having a lack of terrain and cover, this would be a wide open shooting gallery board for Kill Team, which wouldn't make for a good game. And so,
No, definitely
on a sports board there, I've actually, sourced extra terrain to kind of like bulk out the boards a little bit. It wouldn't hurt you. It wouldn't kill you to play this as is.
No,
in a melee game, you have
there's
more room
enough
to run
scatter.
around,
There's enough scatter to stop it from being a big schmoz in the middle, but not enough that I feel like on this board you're gonna clump up pretty easily. Unless you're trying not to.
Yeah. So what else we got here? We got close-ups of the trees. Yeah, this will look pretty cool here.
And it's been pointed out multiple times that the trees basically have claws instead of leaves. There's been no rules reveal for it yet, but strong community belief that those trees are going to have some kind of ability to reach out and grab you.
Yep, and we were already kind of talking about the paint scheme. So yeah, so for the listeners, so we got a plan going forward here. So the box, we're gonna split the box. For this one, I think Zach's getting the terrain. I'm getting the horns of Hashut. Fred's gonna go get the Nurgle Rotbringers, the Rotmire Creed. And I think that's the plan for the box split for this one.
Yeah.
And then I believe so. You and I, Zach, what we're tracking to do is be completionists because we're degenerates and have no impulse control.
Nope, none.
And well, we're gonna split the terrain. So you're gonna paint this one, and then we're gonna coordinate on the terrain painting. I'll paint the next one or something like that, and then that way we'll wind up with the full board painted in a cohesive manner. And we've already been kind of talking about paint schemes like priming it with necrotic flesh to kind of give it the green tinge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so necrotic flesh, zenithal, and then contrast paints. And with contrast paints, with speed paint, we should be able to knock it out pretty quick.
Might just throw our initials on the bottom of every piece so we can keep them separate. The one thing that I'm like, this is jumping ahead a little bit, but like, since the goal of these 4 sets from Games Workshop's point of view is to be an on-ramp for Age of Sigmar. So
no, don't even.
No. I don't want to do that. But my point was, I wonder if there's going to be a lot of recycled pieces between all 4 boxes.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, and so I'm thinking yes, and it won't be obvious recycling. It won't be things like it'll be things that'll be new to you. I'm willing to bet there might be some stuff that you'll recognize, but some of the stuff might be new to you, like maybe the trees from the Soul Drain Forest again that you never had a chance to get or something like that. Kill Team's done the same thing. It's been repackaged combinations of old terrain sprues in new combinations for the various terrain boxes. and terrain tends to be they tend to a lot of it tends to go in and out of stock very quickly. They don't make a lot of it, and so when they bring them back, when they brought back the Imperial, the Sector Imperialis terrain in Kill Team Chalnath, people didn't mind because they love that terrain. It's your old school Gothic ruins done really well. So
Yeah.
they could be doing some of the stuff like this, and I don't think the community is really going to mind. And I imagine they're going to be doing some new stuff here too. If the whole AOS thing is going to be, focusing on Gur.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get like the feature pieces will be different in each box, obviously. So like there's that in the bottom left-hand corners, there's like that giant skull tower. I don't think we'll see that repeated in the other 3 boxes. Maybe there will be like one repeat tree we see in between each box.
Yeah, the scatter, right? The scatter can be
Yeah.
reused. And they do have some other Gur terrain already, the Fondian Strongpoint. So it might be something like that too, right? Maybe pieces from that make an appearance.
Okay.
All right, but let's get to the warbands. So, all right. This week we got the stats for the leaders, and people had things to say about this guy, the leader for the Horns of Hashut.
The Ruinator Alpha.
Yep.
Johnny Pokey. He's
Yep,
got a bomb.
he's got a grenade. It better be dang good.
Yeah, because his stats aren't.
Yeah, so tell us about him.
Yeah, so we got a movement for toughness for 20 wound, classic bespoke war leader at 165, range 2, 3 attacks, 4 strength, 2/5 on the damage profile. He's like a Dominar almost.
Yep.
Very close.
Yeah, folks were in Discord saying Iron Golems 2.0, and I'll tell you this: the aesthetic of the Horns of Hashut has grown on me. I volunteered to take them for this box, but you know what? Fine. I'm gonna love them, but I'm gonna make them my own. So now I know how you feel. And if they wind up sucking, we're gonna play Horns of Hashut versus Iron Golems death match. Yep,
all day.
So I don't think they've released it, but there's been talk that there might be a second weapon profile option.
They mentioned it in the article for this guy. Yeah, they mentioned he could be built with a flail.
And flails generally have range 3 with a higher crit. That might be something that's worth exploring. It might be mathematically correct to build him with a flail. We don't know what the point value is for the flail version.
Yeah, the pointing could be different too.
Yeah, but just comparing this guy's stats with the other 2 new leaders, as well as a number of other bespoke warband leaders, he's getting close to the bottom.
Yeah, he's the weak link. He will most likely, unless the ability is really good, he will most likely not be the MVP of the team.
No, you're really. I mean, the dream is that you just are maxing out flamethrowers, right? You want to be flamethrowing stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping flamethrower dude winds up being the MVP, and I can like double or triple up on those.
Just flamethrower spam.
Yep, that's my dream. But hopefully we'll find out soon what all that's about. I'll be starting with one box, but yeah, you know me, right? I'm gonna go pick and choose. I'm a big bits buyer, so I will be able to build whatever optimal combination there is for these guys.
Well, in the next 18 or 6 to 8 weeks, you're gonna really have a good option to get singles on the internet from people who picked up the box and they wanted the Rotmire Creed, or they just wanted the terrain, and then they're eBaying out the bits. So it's going to be a good time if you're going to pick up singles from this set, it's going to be in the next 6 to 8 weeks that you're really going to see it from release, obviously not right now.
Then here's the rest of the guys. Yeah, so the peons are still peons. But yeah, I see myself doing a lot more brass with these guys.
Yeah.
To kind of give them that look. Brass and keep the red. They look very similar to like the kind of the way I'm doing my corn, but just getting a lot more brass. My brass golems. All right, next up. So this guy, the leader for the Rotmire Creed. Now this guy is a boss.
Yeah, the Wither Lord looks very good.
Yeah, his stats are padded.
I'm talking about his stats. Yeah, dude's been working out. So 3/5 attack profile. He's got a spear too. He's got some ability with the poison gun. We don't even know what that is yet. But for his points at 175 and that attack profile, that guy's pretty tough. Did you look at him compared to some of the other leaders? Where does he rank compared to the other leaders, Zach, in terms of like efficiency or how hard he hits?
So looking at points per, or let's look at efficient damage. He's going to be right up there. The only one that beats him out that I'm seeing in just the short list I made is the Thrall Master from the Cypher Lords, which he has a very high damage profile, but he's also 205 points.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about Blissful One? Oh, Blissful One's faster, so you're paying for some points on him, right?
Which warband is that again?
Unmade? Yeah.
Let me pull that up real quick. Blissful One is 220 on the points.
Okay. Yeah. So you're paying for his speed.
But he does also have pretty efficient damage.
Okay. And then in terms of just how hard they hit, regardless of points cost, with his 3/5, how good is he? That's a Chaos Lord's attack profile, isn't it?
Yeah. So like of the list of 7 bespoke warband leaders that I made, he has the highest, or I would say lowest points per efficient damage, which is ideal. You want a low number for points per efficient damage. I mean, I think his efficient damage is like 7.7, which is, the Horns of Hashut leader is 4.7. So there's a pretty substantial difference.
Yeah.
Dominar is 5.3. So you're head and shoulders above, where a lot of other bespoke warband leaders are. You probably want to play 2 of this guy.
Yeah, 350. Yeah, you probably, if you got nothing else, he's probably worth doubling up.
Yeah.
The only thing, so people are knocking him for this, the 4 move. So all these guys, all the 3 leaders we're going to look at have only 4 move, and they're like, oh, 4 move is so terrible. Like 4 move is like the baseline, it's average. Yeah. Like it's fine. 3 is god awful. No one wants 3 movement.
Yeah.
But people are expecting like everything to have 5 move. Like it doesn't work like that. It's you gotta spend a little bit of time getting across the board.
Well, I was thinking about it, and so people approach these games in a different manner. So when we approach a game like this, we're building out multiple warbands with Age of Sigmar units that have Fly 12 and
right, min-maxing, right?
Yeah, but your average player might just pick up this box, not even paint it, and then that's it. And that's their experience with Warcry. And having 2 leaders on 2 opposing teams that have similar stats as far as movement, toughness, and wounds is going to actually have a really balanced play experience. And if that's what a large number of people are actually experiencing when it comes to this game, you can kind of understand why they balance the bespoke warbands, especially the ones that come in a box together, to have a balanced play experience.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think actually, if you looked at, we never did this, but if you looked at Spiders versus Dark Oath, right, 1 box versus 1 box, probably pretty fair, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you don't have 15 spiders,
right?
Spider swarming them.
Yeah, and well, part of it is me saying, "Hey, cry more noobs," because I play Skaven and all my guys have movement 6. So
yeah, your
like,
65-point chaff has 6 movement.
It's 75 points. Thank you very much. My chaff models are 75 points.
Up there with those bloodletters.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy's looking pretty good. Fred's going to be happy playing these guys, I'm pretty sure.
I really like the little frog dude on his shoulder too. It's
Yeah.
like drooling.
His little
Crack me up.
salacious crumb.
Yeah.
All the pets. And here's the rest of them. We got the reveal of the rest of them last Sunday as well. So a lot of cool bamboo stuff. These should actually probably paint up pretty nicely. They got a netter too, but yeah, all the bamboo, the bone. Yeah.
I'd definitely like to see a little bit more disease and rot coming from them, though. There is
don't
some.
worry. I'm positive Fred will do them justice because he likes doing that. I'm positive he's gonna make them up super grungy. All right, and then finally we just saw these just today.
Today's big news.
Chaos Legionnaires.
The favorite of Be'lakor.
Yep, so we got this leader. So this guy's kind of in the middle. He's got a little extra toughness. I've been talking with a couple folks, and they're starting to look at the numbers, and we might be seeing kind of the way that the pointing algorithm is headed. You're paying a little bit for the toughness there, that extra toughness 5 because of his shield, but you're not paying an insane amount more. So I think they're starting again just very, very slowly to kind of just adjust the internal pointing of the models to try to make it so you're not paying so much for toughness.
Yeah,
which is good.
His damage profile comes across in the average. It's not particularly low compared to other bespoke leaders, but it's not like, sticking out the top like the Blissful One or I think it was the Heart Eater. No, not the Heart Eater. The Blazing Lord also has a pretty higher attack profile of the bespoke warbands.
And then we also saw the Centaur. What's his official name?
The Centurion.
Centurion Marshal?
Centurion Marshal, yeah. So, and this was interesting because I'm thinking, we look at the rest of the warband here too. I'm wondering what he's, in the article it talked about him being part of the Chaos Legionnaires, but also said you could bring him as an ally. And so I'm wondering, maybe there's a change to the ally rules. Like maybe there's going to be a new list of allies you can take that's been specifically been selected. So you can't just take an ally from any warband, but there's a larger list of general allies to take. And there's less guidance from Games Workshop saying, yeah, don't allow allies, play everything as is, that the TOs will follow. Maybe something like that. And also when we see the warband, they're all pretty heavily armored. There's only eight models that we've seen so far. It might be a semi-elite warband, and you might be able to take the thing if this guy has the Legionnaire rune mark. Maybe take 2 of him. That is a pretty elite warband, but you got the speed obviously because that dude's gonna be able to move. He's gonna be able to smash some face, and you don't need all the models that come in the Legionnaire box.
Wait, so you're saying taking the ally as a leader?
I'm saying if he has the leader rune mark for Legionnaires, yeah. or even if he doesn't have the leader rune mark. What I'm saying is if you can take him as an ally, maybe you can take him as an ally because he has the leader rune mark.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe he's on the ally list. Maybe they changed the ally rules so there's an ally list, but he still has the Legionnaire rune mark because he's tied to this warband.
Yeah.
So then you could take, you got to take the leader, but you could take 2 centaurs in a warband because he's going to be probably like boxed separately. They're going to sell him for like $50 by himself, I'm sure.
Yeah. He'll be a separate box like the Fomaroid or the Ogre.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. And then here's the other Legionnaires. These guys look sweet.
I like the Conquistador style helmets.
Yeah, I'm digging the helmets. I'm seeing now where people are like painting the rivets is going to be tough. Like I was looking at the wrong rivets. I'm seeing the rivets now on the armor.
Yeah, the breastplates.
Yeah. I still think it's not that bad. This is something where I think liquid talent is going to serve you well.
So when I painted the Exiled Dead, the leader has basically staples all the way down like his robe on either
Sweet.
side. And I painted those by hand. I mean, it took a little bit longer and it was a little bit painstaking, but I feel like you just get a small brush and you're just doing a little dot. Like this is
It's
absolutely
not.
finishing work. It's not going to kill
It's
you.
it's not a. It's not like a ton of. It's not like a ton of surface area. It's not like doing all the filigree on the Red Harvest terrain,
No.
right? All the brass filigree. And again, if you're using contrast paints and washes, this is like what the GW models are kind of made for, right? They go, they're all just computer designed now, and they have this, minute level of detail and everything that's almost specifically designed to catch GW contrast paint. It's
Hmm.
almost, it's almost as if the miniature is designed to work specifically with the paint now.
So the level of detail on these is so high. I feel like the likelihood that you see maybe like the leader model picked out for like a paint contest, like somebody who really wants to like show off their skill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that. Or like a diorama.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, they'll do the community spot. They get all the YouTube artists and all the pro painters to like, hey, paint this stuff for us. Put us on the website, and we'll pay you an exposure.
Oh God.
uh, so the other thing that's Warcry adjacent. Well, we saw this. I was excited for this. I was arguably more excited for this than the Warcry box reveal.
Yeah.
We get an underworld warband with witch hunters, and these guys are sweet. You get 2 dogs. You get the witch hunter with the floppy hat. You get belts on belts. You got a guy with a crossbow with a bomb on it. Like, you got tactical rocks.
This is peak. This is peak Warhammer right here.
This is old school Mordheim stuff.
This is taking me back to Warhammer Online. Playing
The
my
dogs
Witch
really
Hunter.
do it for me. Like
Yeah,
some good boys.
Yeah,
Oh,
one of the dogs has a missing eye. He's seen some stuff.
He's been there, man.
Yeah, so 6 model warband. Yeah, I can't wait for the rules to come out. We're gonna have to wait a long time for rules on this one. We got a couple other warbands that we haven't seen them yet. But
I feel like cities is generally just boring right now. So like, giving people a good in, like, hey, here's 650 points of a warband. Now you only have to fill it with like 3 awful models.
Yeah, you just figure out like what you want to fill it out with, or at like 3 random flagellants or whatever else, and then boom, you're good to go. Yeah, I can't wait to see this. But before that, right? There's the Nether Maze, the rats, and the who are the rats fighting in Nether Maze?
Canaanite Shadow Stalkers.
Canaanite Shadow Stalkers. That's right. And we already got is my golf score going to get worse soon? Are you getting that double box? Am I getting those rats?
It'll be like 6 or 8 points. It's not that bad.
I'm actually getting close to even again. I'm working my way down.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to even too. I have a bunch of stuff sitting on my desk at like 85% done, and I just need to like sum up the will to spend 2 hours to finish it.
Yeah, I got some more quick wins kind of waiting for me too. Some more Stormcast, a couple other things are close to finish, and then still some more terrain too. All right, and this is all I had. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Didn't know how long this was going to take. I didn't talk about Blood Bowl or Kill Team.
I mean, just that there is some speculation on what other warbands we're going to get across the next 3 sets.
Rampant speculation.
Rampant. I think the one that I've heard that really just makes sense is some form of Seraphon. The whole theme is that there's a crashed Seraphon ship in Gur that everybody's trying to get the treasure from, right? So if you have that as your theme and then there's no Seraphon,
No Seraphon.
that's just weird. Like that's just bad storytelling,
Yep.
right? That's a like
Yeah.
a lob across home plate. Like you should be able to knock that out of the park really easily.
Yep.
People like dinosaurs, so I mean,
How many Jurassic Park movies have they made now? A lot.
Way
Too many.
Way too
Yeah.
many.
Sidebar. These Jurassic World movies don't make any sense because the military exists.
Listen,
That's all I had for
I don't
that.
know if you know this, but T-Rexes immune to bullets.
Especially immune to Hellfire missiles from drones.
Yes, immune to that too.
All right. And then also in other skirmish related news, I'm getting some peer pressure from someone I know at work to do kill teams. So that might actually kind of move up my priority list as well. So very, very slowly, we will be branching into kill team.
I did pick up my shotgun scouts, so.
Yep. So you got scouts. Zach, you got Marines, and you also have Orc Commandos eventually if you want to paint. I got Tyranids and Vet Guard. Fred has access to some stuff, I think, too. So
Didn't he have a big Tyranid Age of Sigmar army at some point in time? Or a Warhammer army?
Yeah,
he did,
played.
but I don't think he has any anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did get some Adeptus Custodes.
That's what he was good. Yep, he had painted some of those up.
And then our Joel had just picked up some Adeptus Mechanicus.
That's right. Yep.
Which is like, to me, it's the coolest faction in 40K. It's basically Phyrexians, and I love it.
Yeah, you should get in. Just because he's playing doesn't mean you can't play it.
Right.
Listen, you're probably right.
I'm sure there's a whole nother chapter or sect or something.
You could do
different.
There's I told you that there is a dark Mechanicum. So there's the good guy Mechanicus, and there's also dark Mechanicus, because Chaos Space Marines need Mechanicus as well to maintain their stuff. So it's even
corrupted machines.
Yep, it's even more grim dark and dystopian.
Put some Phyrexian symbols on them. That'll be hot.
Yeah. But we're getting off topic here. Back to Warcry. So upcoming events.
Tomorrow.
Saturday, August 6th. Oh, actually, yep, tomorrow.
Tomorrow
we're going to
wrap this up so we can go to bed and get up.
Right. Yeah, no one who's listening to this is going to be able to make it. But tomorrow we got a meetup planned. Some testing for Gen Con at a local game store. I need to do a better job of marketing these things and setting the date well in advance, doing flyers and that sort of thing. I think we're starting to kind of with the push and the attention for this new version of Warcry. Yeah, I definitely think we could probably get some traction in the area. So yeah, we got that plan for tomorrow. 2 weeks from now is Gen Con. I'm gonna go for Gen Con. Fred says he's a go. As of right now, there's still 7 slots remaining for that tournament. And as of right now, the tourney pack is still TBD. Jolly, get on it. We want to see what the last mission is. All right, and then also coming up after that, so Nova Open, Labor Day weekend, September 1st through 3rd in Virginia. I'm gonna go for that one as well. 3 different tournaments. The Warcry Grand Tournament actually has a fair number of slots left open. 2 narrative tournaments on Friday and Saturday. One of them almost filled up. So, yeah, if you're coming out to Nova, definitely be some Warcry action going on there. And as we get closer to that, we might do a little more coverage of that, the tourney pack, if there's any more details on that, and talk about that. Maybe chat with the TO and do a little bit of a cross promotion there too.
Awesome.
And we're sending out feelers as well. Someone on Discord from Cleveland was talking. We may road trip. I may be rallying the troops for a road trip up to Cleveland. Jolli might be doing some stuff in Columbus. So yeah, future's looking good for Warcry. But this brings us to a close for this episode of Dayton Warcry Club. So by the time you're listening to this, we'll probably have some new rules reveals as well. We'll be present at Gen Con, which is in 2 weeks, so we won't be recording. You might get a brief update from us that weekend. But our next episode, you can expect that in 3 weeks. Until then, pass on the word about our channel. We aren't super active on Twitter or Reddit. Zach.
Cut that.
Until then, pass on the word about our channel. We aren't super active on Twitter or Reddit, but we've recently started posting more on the Warhammer Warcry group on Facebook. But the best place to find us and interact is on the official Warcry Discord. Great community with a link in the description. Until next time, I'm War Machine.
Yawgmoth for Prez.
See forever.
Thanks for listening. I'll probably cut all this. I'll probably cut this side rant out, so we don't wind up on a list at GW and blacklisted from getting free.
Blacklisted by Games Workshop.
Yeah, no free stuff for us.